Today, let's talk about 5 genius moves, albeit basic moves, that allow you to be successful when it comes to having a solid financial plan and a good financial life. Let's start with the basics. Number 1 is pay off any debt. Debt generally is not a good thing. There's some exceptions to that when it's in things that are leveraged like real estate, but things like credit card debt are not your friend. May I suggest that if you have multiple credit cards, that you pay them off as fast as possible, starting with the littlest one first. So if you have 4 credit card debts and bills and you can't pay them off, you pay the minimum on the bigger ones, and then the smaller one, you try and lump sum pay that off as fast as possible. Work your way up. Once that one's paid off, you rip up the card and you go to the next one. You pay that one off as fast as possible, and do that, etc. I strongly recommend that you tear up those cards when you're done. You keep one they need for emergencies and travel and things like that, but pay them off. It's also not a bad idea to lower your limit on your credit card, even when you have only one, so that you don't overspend. Number 2 is stash cash. Nothing gives people more peace of mind than having liquid money. I stash cash literally in a safe in my home for basic things that might come up, but you can also use interest-bearing money markets. Ideally, I think it's good to keep them out of arm's reach so it's a little bit tougher to get to. I find that if cash is easy to get to, you end up finding a way to spend it. So I suggest that you start putting away money for a rainy day. That rainy day might be insurance deductible, that you have a claim on your health insurance, you get a fender bender, you need to get a new furnace, etc. So that's a really good starting point. Peace of mind comes from having liquid cash. If you don't have any now, make a goal to have $1,000 a few months from now, if that's what it takes. Ideally, I think 10 to 20 grand is a great number for people to shoot for. For some people, they can do that rather quickly. For others, it may take a year to get there, maybe take 5 years to get there. But either way, I think that's a great goal. After you have minimal debt and you have cash, also look into setting up a Roth 401k through your employer. Hopefully your employer offers that. The Roth 401k is great because you never see the money. Once it goes into your account, it grows tax-free, and it'll come out one day also tax-free. I recommend you try and do it up to 10% of your income from that as a minimum if you want to be financially independent later in life. If your employer doesn't offer a 401k, then the burden's on you even more. Set up an automatic deposit with a Roth IRA. Now that's limited as well as based on your income and how much you can put away, but it's a great idea. You need to start saving as soon as possible if you want to be financially independent. Once those 3 are taken care of, then I'd go to number 4. Oh, by the way, number 4 is going to be a little interesting in that I'm suggesting if you have the option, you set up a health savings account. If that's an option, you have to have it offered through your employer, so you take a high deductible medical insurance plan that qualifies you to set up a health savings account, also known as an HSA, and I've written about that and talked about that quite a bit in these videos. I love it. Tax deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals when you take it out for qualified medical expenses. I wouldn't use it. I don't use my HSA very often. I like to pay for little medical expenses like my dental appointments with my personal cash, so that way the HSA money continue to grow and grow and grow. So one day if I ever need a lump sum, a significant amount of money, I can have that to fall back on. Next to that, I would set up a brokerage account where you start saving money. You buy things like exchange traded funds, and you start creating a portfolio of assets that's not subject to the retirement plan restrictions as far as when you can take the money out. Now, many of you are saying, geez, I don't have that kind of money. I can't put away 10% in something like that, especially after I've put money in my Roth IRA. Where am I going to find money to set up an HSA or a brokerage account? Well, I got to say, you need to look at your spending habits. Number 1 is quit shopping. My wife always jokes whenever she leaves the house, she spends money. So guess what? She doesn't leave the house all that often to go shopping. That's number 1. Number 2, it's been made a lot easier now just to buy from the comfort of your own house through things like Amazon. Quit it. You don't need to shop in your free time. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Look at your credit card bills. in 2022 and look at all the wasted money you spent on things you didn't really enjoy. You can't even remember what you spent your money on. Cut that back. Put that savings as an automatic deduction. If it's not out of your paycheck for a 401k, it should be out of your checking account every month. Pay yourself first. It's an old adage. The only way it happens, in my mind, for 99.9% of Americans, is if you set it up automatically. That means whatever investment company you're putting the money into, you set up what's called an ACH to pull money from your checking account every month, maybe it's twice a month, and have it set into account in your name. That's the best way to grow your net worth. I say for 3 kids' college educations, paid for them entirely without having to take out any money out of my salary when they were ready to go to school. And all 3 of mine were in college at the same time. Yeah, it was a lot of money. It was no stress because I started way back when they were born and started putting money away and increased it over time. Lastly, number 5 on my great ideas is to work with a pro. A certified financial planner is the place to go. They can help you organize your life. They can help you minimize your taxes. They can help you with strategies that'll fit your personal situation. I wish you the very best in 2023 and beyond, but it takes discipline, and you need to make these changes sooner rather than later if you want to be as successful financially as you can be. Thanks a lot for listening.